Once again, good morning and welcome back. It's still Daybreak Africa reaching here from our studios in Ondo City. This morning we'll be talking about student loan scheme suspension. And with us in the house is a lecturer at the University of Education here in Ondo, the person of Olaide, Abiola. Welcome on Daybreak Africa.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you on the program.
It's my pleasure too.
All right, straight to the topic of today, the student loan scheme. It has had a lot of reaction on the social media. Most people feeling like, okay, it's a scam, it's not the real thing, it's what Nigeria need now, it's what Nigeria need as at this moment. From your own perspective as a lecturer which is in the education sector, what is your take on it?
There are several views to this. The first is the political view. Because if we want to talk about the social media comments, then that means we'll go political.
Okay.
Because most of the things you see online, you'll be surprised, like, is this actually coming from Nigerians? Do we actually have the trust in the government? Fine, we've been disappointed several times. We have been disappointed often years after years. Even by the time we proclaimed, shouted, and election comes up again tomorrow, you see who emerge again. The same person we have blamed, we have castigated and the likes. So you ended up seeing the person coming up again as a second time winner. So then you'll be shocked that then who are these complaining online? Forget about the fact that the rig election in Nigeria. If voters don't vote, there will not be room for rigging.
Michael made a very valid point in saying many believe the entire scheme is more like a scam. And many also believe that instead of Tinubu, going into this loan scheme, why not he tend to probably fund the public education? Don't you think this seems rather visible and possible enough?
I don't know. I'm not a spokesperson for the government. But then, what do we even know about the activities of the government in the education sector? Is the government doing anything? We are talking of the federal government now. Are they doing anything? Are they? What do we know about the government and the education sector? Let's say, for instance, there is a platform, there is a fund, they call TED Fund. How much do they give to their institutions as intervention every year? Because to my own understanding, from my own experience, I know they give zonal intervention. They give yearly intervention. There is a specialized fund for every institution: polytechnic, college of education, university. Now, universities in Nigeria, polytechnics in Nigeria, colleges of education in Nigeria. They give them money every year, even if it's not enough, even if it's for special projects. Yeah, they were like, this is for the staff training, this is for capital projects, this is for libraries, this is for ICT intervention. Do the public know of this?
So what you're really saying now is in the educational sector,
it is not that the government is not. It is not that the government is not doing anything. We can only say that their best is not enough. But then, if you consider the economy of Nigeria, can the government be able to provide every need of the sector?
And that brings me to the next question. If we're talking about the economy of the nation, we are going to talk about the power to shoulder such a scheme as the student loan. Now, there have been a lot of postponements, but most postponements that has come in the past do come with a date. We say, okay, we are going to move from this also date to this date, but this that is happening as at this moment is the indefinite. Definitely, we do not have a date. So now, looking at the whole situation and also with the economic situation of Nigeria, which you made mention of, do you think it's as a situation of financial constraints that Nigeria cannot shoulder such a scheme as at this moment?
No, I don't think it's the financial constraint, because the reasons for the postponements now has been brought out.
Which are?
Yeah, they want to review the legal backup. They are taking it back to House of Rep because there are so many things involved in the scheme. Before you can access the loan, there are so many bogus requirements that personally I felt, these people are not serious. If they are saying that an average Nigerian should access a loan, if you are taking a loan from a bank, we know what will pass through. You bring guarantors. In fact, it is better that you quit taking loan than passing out that stress. Now, a young individual, because I need to access public fund, you have to look for a guarantor, certain rank. How many people are willing to give out? We know what we pass through when we say, okay, come and be my guarantor. We say, it's just as if you are saying, come and enter into a debt trap. That's how people say that, oh, I should come and be a guarantor for a loan you want to take it back. No, I have taken for somebody. So people will avoid you. Now you're saying, now in a school of probably 20,000 students, like 5,000 students want to take the loan, and you are saying they should be looking out for guarantors. Other things that I learned they are reviewing is the fact that if you are a working class of certain cadre, your ward cannot have access to the loan. That means you deprive the person of the opportunity to access the loan. Who knows the state of the financial state of the parent?
So if I get you correctly, you say it has been returned back to the House of Senate.
Yes,
for some sort of assembly for a lot of reviews to be done. Now, if I do want to get you correctly, it was first taken there for review before they believe that they are going to make it a thing of reality. Now it's going back there. Are you trying to say they did jump some things that were supposed to be done? They bypassed it.
Definitely, but public outcries led to this, because people felt like if you are saying we should come and take loan without this bogus requirements, no, it's not realistic.
Then it is safe to say the government does not even understand the people they are governing over.
Don't forget they are first human.
You are supposed to say, if I want to help you to settle something, I want to give a solution to something, I need to understand the problem, right? If I do not understand the problem, I cannot provide a solution. So now you want to give a student loan because you feel like it's going to help, but you do not even understand the situation that your citizens are facing, because we cannot always wait for the outcry of people for us to make decisions. So what are we saying at this moment? Is it that we are waiting for a trial error situation, or we are really sure of what we are doing?
Probably they felt like, okay, this is the situation on ground. We want students to have access to education.
Okay.
Now, just like we've been glamoring the way they are doing elsewhere, the country cannot develop without at least mimicking certain things from country B. Definitely, we can always imbibe the culture of certain countries into our own. But then we say, okay, let us make use of this. They access student loans everywhere, every developed countries. Okay, we are coming up with this. Nigeria has peculiarities.
Okay.
An average Nigerian is looking for a loopholes to maximize opportunity for him or herself. That's what I have grown to understand about Nigeria. Now, the government will sit down and say, okay, how can we minimize the opportunity? Probably to enrich yourself, probably to take certain things to your own advantage. Now, they'll bring up a proposal. This is what we want. They take to the National Assembly, they pass the bill. Now, they want to review the bill. It is possible. We have taken certain steps. Now, we are feeling like this thing is too serious for people.
The criteria
are too serious for the people to access. Okay, then there is a loophole where people decide to defray from paying the loans back. Okay, let us block all these loopholes. Let us make this thing easier to access for the people. Now, I think, was it yesterday or so, there is a public hearing on this same student loan. I think there are stakeholders who attended the public hearing at National Assembly.
It happened recently.
Yeah. Was it recent or yesterday? Okay, recently. There was a public hearing on it where people bring out their views and the likes. I think they ought to have done this before they pass the bill. Now, it is not something that the president will just say, okay, this is what we are reviewing. It's a stuff that has a bill, that has legal backup. They have to take it back to the National Assembly. But don't forget, he said they postponed it. They postponed it. They postponed it. Do we postpone again? Do we know how many days it will take at the National Assembly? So if they are saying it is indefinite. And they come out to say that, okay, these are the issues that we want to trash out of this thing. These are the new bills. These are the things we want to inculcate in the bills. You know, this education loan of it now has a fund, just like that fund and every other fund. Now, it now has a fund that will be solely responsible for carrying out this loan of a thing, the payment, how to retrieve the loan from the students after graduation. So the fund now will be in charge. All these things will have to pass through the National Assembly because of the bills. So why not give them the benefit of doubt?
Now, talking about benefit of doubt, you made mention of something that really interests me: retrieval of the loan from the benefactors. Now, if we look at it, most countries which you made mention of, the foreign countries that do practice this kind of, let me say, the student loan scheme thing, they have a very good employment rate in their country. Now, this is Nigeria. Reality staring us in the face is a very high amount of unemployment rates. Now, if you are given this, you said something earlier like a debt trap for most people that want to go. I don't even be your guarantor. Now, let me even say, as a graduate, a young person, I was able to access this loan and I got it to finish my education. With the way we have unemployment really on ground, our economy is almost crumbling. A lot of things are really going against us economic-wise. As at this moment, do you think any Nigerian that is able to get this loan can pay back? And how do you think the government is going to be able to retrieve it?
Now, even one of the things that is not inculcated in the bill is the, what they call it, loan forgiveness. In case the unexpected happens. Yeah, it is not that they will forgive the loan, because it is explained that in case of the death of the student or whatever, the loan can be forgiven. In case the person can no longer be able to pay back. They said after 2 years of NYSC, you will start to pay back, subjected to your employment. They believe that after 2 years, at least you must have gotten something that will fetch back money. If you are paying back, they're not saying you will pay back, that you are getting 30,000 naira in a month and you are expected to pay 30,000 naira back to the government. No. There is a percent, I think 20% or whatever. I cannot remember the
earnings.
Some.
Of what you earn.
Of what you earn. You are going to remit 20% of what you earn. Something like that. That low, very low percentage to the government.
You got 20% very low?
Of the loan you took to go to school. 20% of 30,000 naira is how much?
6,000.
6,000 naira.
So it's very low.
30,000. If you are getting, okay, I am just saying 30,000 naira the minimum wage. If you are getting 30,000 naira and they are deducting 6,000 naira from it as a loan you got for securing that job. Do you know people pay to secure job in this country? People pay to secure job, and we know how much they pay. Now, if they say, okay, for securing the certificate that fetched you this job, pay back this money, just 20% of that, 6,000 naira, then you have 24,000 naira. Then you pay it as, and it's not that the 30,000 naira is going to be stagnant.
Now,
do we even have a data for that to be sure persons actually earn exactly?
Yes. Now, if you are taking a loan, you have a data with the fund, definitely.
That is, the loan was prior to your employment. Remember,
yes.
Let's say I want to get into school from 100 level. Let's say I'm studying a 5-year course.
Yeah. And
you got the loan government throughout sponsored me.
Yeah.
Now, 2 years, you said, is a date given outside your service year.
Yes, after the end.
That's like another 3 years altogether.
Yes.
Plus the 5 years you've spent, that's 8 years.
Okay.
Possibility is that we might have a new change of government.
Okay.
In the whole picture here.
Okay.
We have problem of data, if you agree with me, in Nigeria. We have problem of data.
Of course we do.
Now, if we have problem of data, what is the possibility of retrieving this? Especially, what if, you also made mention of loan forgiveness. What if the individual doesn't notch a job? What is going to happen?
Now, you said we do not have data.
We have issues
Yes,
with data.
we have issues with data. It's not that we don't have. We have issues with data. But don't forget this and a change of government. But then don't forget this is a program that has bill that backs it up, that is backing it up.
A lot of programs do have bills that backs it up, and at the end of the day, we do not see they don't see the light of the day.
Yeah, you said a change of government, that probably the new government will come and no. As long as that's bill, the new government definitely does not have power over it. You can only manipulate that. Okay, probably you want to review the bill. Through manipulation, it's not going to be something that you'll be proud of, that we want to. Okay, based on your own interest, that okay, let us review this thing, blah blah, stuff like that. But then, if there is a change in government, I don't think it will affect the fund, because we will not have a fund. We now have funds that will be in charge in our fund, Nigeria Education Loan Fund or something like that. So the money and everything will be in charge. It's not something that a government will come and say, okay, you stop giving out the loan. No.
I tend to wonder, ideally, is this loan scheme the best option for the government?
If it is not, what?
If it's the best option.
The best option for the government, because people tend to actually.
If it's not a loan, then a grant.
No, what I think what Ezekiel is saying at this moment.
Okay,
you made
make
mention of something
education
very vital at the beginning of this discussion, which is the financial capability of Nigeria as a country at this time, our economy. Now, looking into it, we had issues in the past with subsidy, no subsidy, this, we are not subsidizing this, we are not doing this. As of this moment, there are a lot of things on ground. That's what most people are clamoring on social media. A lot of things on ground. Now, most people feel like even our educational sector is not receiving a lot of attention from the government. But now you say, okay, you want to give loan. Is a huge sum of amount that will be going into this. You said there's a lot of money as put aside for that. So why are we not getting this money reinvested into our education, not just giving people to go to school?
How do they reinvest it into the education? How?
I'm asking.
Yeah, how do you expect the government to reinvest that money into the education?
Now, when they talk about someone talk about trying to fund a public education, one way or another, there's a way you can actually subsidize fees for government school. One way or another, instead of just dishing out money whose
that might possibly not get refunded.
Exactly clear, and we have indefinite suspension as at this moment. Now, money you also actually attain to the fact where you're not sure if it's going to really go across board. Now, not every citizen or every student is really sure will have access to that loan.
Definitely.
Now, at least 70% will not have access to that loan. Now, with all these ups and lows, how is this the best option for the government?
Yeah. It is the best in the sense that it is student-oriented project. It is not school-oriented project. If it is school, I can take it to any length that the government is trying its best. Go to any universities today. Do they have enough buildings? To the minimum standard, do they have the best buildings? There are ICT centers, there are laboratories.
And that is what I was talking about, the investment.
I am asking, do they have? They do.
They do.
To minimum standard.
But what is the minimum standard?
They do, probably wouldn't have had strikes.
Strikes from ASU and the rest.
What are they agitating for?
Are you not? You are a lecturer. You should be able to tell us what they're agitating for.
Welfare packages.
That's just what they're agitating for.
Most of these things, welfare packages. Like, we want to have this, we want to have that. Welfare packages. Now, even if, like, I belong to a union, COASU. Now, they said there are buildings who are very old. Today, there are projects going on in every college of education, revitalization projects, where old buildings are being revitalized. It is in, they disbursed money for these things. Who disbursed the money? Federal government. Every year, I said it, every year, Tax Fund gives out money to all the schools. Tax Fund gives out money. Do they? Yes, they do. And this money, these funds are meant for certain projects. Laboratories, ICT, construction of new buildings, offices, and the likes. Even if they are not enough, nothing is enough in Nigeria. But is the government doing anything? If you are saying government is not doing anything, no, we cannot say government is not doing anything. With stuff with a fund like Test Fund, we cannot say government is not doing anything. Because at least if Test Fund is giving out money, it's whose money? It's not federal government's money. So
but they are doing something. I want to ask a question. Those money being given to the Test Fund and the rest of them, are they being used judiciously?
to the best of my knowledge, I don't think, I am very sure that one will. I was arguing with some people on a platform. I was just telling them that hey, if so body has to, they have to start to monitor how, because then they announced it that test fund disbursed so.
The question is simple. Do you think they are making a judicious use of those funds?
They are. They are. Because one, they will not give us the money. Say, okay, this is Robinson Crusoe universities. You are allocated 1 billion naira for 2024 test fund allocation. 1 billion naira. Oh yeah, please come, take your 1 billion naira. No, it's not like that. Now they will give you paper. They give us paper. Take your 1 billion naira. Go back home, bring out the project you want to do. Your 1 billion naira, perhaps 500,000 naira for this, 500,000 naira for ICT, 500,000, stuff like that. Now you will go back home and say, what are our preferences? Now you come back that, okay, these are the things we want to the fund. Okay, they will say, okay, bring out your, how you want to execute the project. Then they will divide into, I think, 2 or 3 stages. The first tranche, after the first tranche might have been executed, confirmed to have been executed, then they will, I said confirmed, that means they will have returned back to the test fund. Test fund will have seen that truly they have executed this project. Then they will release the second tranche. Then retain, there's something they call retainership or something. That in the next also years, if the project does not have any issue, then the contractor will be paid the balance.
Well, it's
so
exciting.
I think with
you.
that you are convinced that okay, the money is being judiciously used.
I think it's exciting hearing from you that ASU's demand has always been selfish and not really for the welfare of
selfish.
students. Yes,
No.
you made it seem that.
You said it's just for their own welfare.
Yeah,
So definitely you are trying to kick out whatever they have been saying concerning the student dilapidating kind of, let me say, building and the rest. We had a lecturer here some times ago and he was talking about money not even being paid for research. Most people want to go into research, they don't have enough funds.
From your institution,
Enough. I said it. Nothing has been enough in this country. Our economy, you also confirmed it that we don't have enough. Then enough. It is not that at all.
So that means when you are saying you can just get whatever is given to you, and what if that whatever is given to you cannot do what you're supposed to do? Are you just going to settle with it?
You mean research-wise?
Whatever, institution-wise.
It's just like you saying you need 10 buildings, and they said, okay, take 4. You cannot say the person has not given, the country has not given you anything. At least we are still, as a country, we are still trying. We have to appreciate whatever we have in this country as well. It is not easy anywhere. It is not easy anywhere. We can blame our political leaders. Yes, if they are misbehaving, if they are doing anything outside what we expect them to have done, we can blame them, but not to the extent that we will now say Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that, Nigeria is not even. You cannot be saying nothing. No, it's not that, nothing. It is just that our expectations are not met. Even as parents, are we meeting up?
That's what they know. Let's talk about the intentionality of this administration when it comes to education. Now, for some reason, tuition for most universities is high already, and the entire student loan scheme is still in the pipeline, but not sure it's going to be a success or how soon it's going to be a success.
How soon?
Yeah, so what's up with this intentionality? Because what's the point of actually making an announcement and then costing skyrocketing fee already? And
as a person, yeah, I love to give people benefit of doubt. I would look at the situations. I think there was a government, people were just castigating, say this person must go, this person must go. There was a government, I'm very sure you will realize, you will understand there was
I do.
Yeah. I said, come, this person has good intention. The devil we have known is better than the new Jesus we are. Okay, now we voted the person out. Somebody came in. The rest is history. Now, the funniest thing is, some 80% of things that this person was saying that we are going to do this. If we want to set this country on a good path, these are the things, these are the steps we should take. We are now saying no. They are using us to say no. Everybody was saying no, you must go. Now, this government now came on board with more than 80% of the same thing this person was talking about. So, to me as a person.
Now, I want to respect the fact when you said you like giving people benefit of doubt. Now, benefit of doubt from your own part is a decision that you make.
Yes.
But that does not erase reality.
Yeah.
Now, as a government, as an administration, whatever you make as a decision being implemented becomes what your people, the citizens, live with. Now, there is a kind of energy that came in from the first day of this administration, taking away the fuel subsidy. Now, most people feels like before you take away the fuel subsidy, which you called a scam, which we want to believe too, which should be something that we cushion this effect, at least for a long run or a short run. Whatever, just do that. We've not seen that to effect to date. Now, as Ezekiel rightly said, he said, talking about the student loan scheme, you brought it on, skyrocketed tuition fees began. And most people feel like, okay, if the student loan should come, we'll be able to manage. Now, it has been suspended indefinitely. What I am about to ask is, even you know that when you know that you are not ready, why announcing it to cause chaos in the country?
The increments in school fees was not caused by students' loan.
So what was it caused by?
Fuel subsidy. Fuel subsidy. It was not caused by student loan. It was not caused by student loan.
So if it was fuel subsidy that caused it, do you applaud the action of the present administration concerning fuel subsidy that has affected business in the educational sector?
Now, even before the arrival of the current president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, even before his arrival, the subsidy had been systematically removed. And on his inauguration, he only said fuel subsidy is gone and gone forever. As a matter of fact, the past administration only paid perhaps three months.
6 months.
Six months, which ended 3 months before, after his administration. Yeah, ended 3 months after his administration, and not for the whole year 2023. Now, the past government already removed the subsidy. He only announced this, that fuel subsidy is gone and gone forever.
Now, I want to believe that for you to be voted into an office is a call to serve, of course. For you to be voted into an office.
One more thing. Don't forget, every presidential aspirant, except Kwakwansho, talked about fuel subsidy.
Now, I get that and I understand that. Now, we might all talk about something, but our formula for doing it might be different.
Perhaps.
Good. Now, when we talk about being voted into an office, is a call to serve, which I believe. And we operate democracy in this country, and I am very sure that most Nigerians want to enjoy the dividend of democracy. Now, on your own part, as at this moment, although we have a lot of crises in the educational sector, we will be looking for solutions, and possibly on its own part, the federal government believes, okay, the student loan is going to solve some crisis. Now, on the scale of preference, now, looking at the whole situation, do you think student loan was the perfect solution to solve those crises? That is one. Secondly, looking at the whole situation surrounding Nigeria at this moment, you said earlier that we have the power to shoulder it. You also said all the money that has been given to social organizations will be used judiciously. But it's not enough for you to just give money to people, especially if you are the CEO of a company, you have to do follow-up. But if the students are crying that we cannot do this, the parents are crying that they can't even afford the tuition fee of their children, at this moment, do you think everything is fine with this present government, with their decision making and implementation?
Definitely, things are not going well. But it is not really about the government.
It's about
it's about the plans that the government has for the country. if the government is still paying for this subsidy, we wouldn't be where we are today. We will not be here. If they have not announced the removal of subsidy, we will not be here.
But we were not crying then.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. We will not be here. We will not be crying. But then we are setting the country on a gunpowder, because islands we did not even have reserve again. Then, if the first subsidy retains, we will not be crying. But it was removed, and we are feeling it. But as time goes on, things will come back to, especially considering by the time all the plans of the government are now being implemented. It is not easy to implement policies in Nigeria.
You made mention of the fact that the tuition increment was not as a result of the scheme, but as a result of subsidy. Now, what's the point of removing subsidy while you fail to put a certain necessity already in place?
Well, we can blame the government. But then I told you right from inception that I am not a spokesperson for the government. I am just being objective. I refer to a certain government.
Which actually brings us back to my question to the government's intentionality when it comes to education. And
yes,
at this point,
but then, this is Nigeria, where anything goes. As a head of organization, you can be held from acting, regardless of your power. You can be it happens everywhere, that you want to act and you see people calling you, well, is one of us, she's one of us, whatever we want to do, shall calm down first. You see somebody who bashed your car and you want to react, and a friend said, now I got you. Perhaps the person drove roughly and the person bashed you.
So are you saying, for the case of is our guy situation, when we see a spade, we shouldn't call it a spade?
Wait, let me. I want to arrive at something.
Okay.
Like, if the current government had not taken that step on that day, probably we might still be okay. I say pending the time that we will remove it completely. Okay, then because of so person. Because and don't forget, there was a time I heard the president talking about people who felt that they are more powerful than the country. Do we have them? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have people who felt they are more powerful than the country, and it is everywhere. Even in your organization, you feel like just leave him. He's always feeling like, because he's very close to. So. Yes, it is like that everywhere.
Now, the question is very simple here. The subsidy was taken away with a lot of promises too. We feel like it's a fraud that needs to be taken away. It's a cankerworm that is eating into our economy. Now, it has been taken away. We are supposed to see the reflection of whatever money that has been saved so far from the subsidy. Of course, there was an increment, there's a lot of increment to the allocation of states and everything. But I said something. Is it enough to just dish out money, or to have a proper follow-up or how these funds are being judiciously used? Especially if you are ahead, you said something also about reviewing and saying, okay, there are things that needs to be done. For about 9 months, you have been dishing out money, big allocations, but you've not been seeing it reflecting on states, on people. So don't you get it that is there not that time for you to restructure things to make it work?
Allocations to states. The federal government does not have that power to intervene in the allocations. It is something that is there that you have to do.
And that is why I said a review.
Recently, the presidency was saying that they had a meeting and the president was telling everyone that go and do well in your state. Your allocation has been increased. And my governor was saying that our allocation was just increased by 2 billion or 2 whatever. 2 billion naira. Yes, I'm from your state. Yes, if they want to play politics, they should play politics. The allocation of the state was just increased by 2 billion naira. Yes, but the federal government does not have that power to intervene in how the states make use of their money.
So is it not better for the federal government to devise another means where this money this subsidy that was taken, because
Nigerians. I think at this point we're dwelling more on subsidy than on education. Away from subsidy.
Because
now, I know you actually brought us to that point of subsidy removal and being our tuition in education. But I guess we just come on to this.
And not the student loan. Student loan is just one of the palliative.
That is yet to be started out. So it's not
it's not a palliative yet. Yes. Now I have you talked about the way they are distributing money as palliative. I am not an advocate of all this palliative of a thing. Giving people the one I can say is authoritatively that the money is not getting to the right people, and
that is the same thing as this student loan that we are talking about.
No, the student loan will get to the right.
Will get
even if you are not a student, you cannot access the loan.
A loan that is not sorted out. So we already talk about reaching or getting to the right persons.
The right person. The students will get the loan definitely.
We all know our situation when it comes to funding, planning, implementation. We always have issues when it comes to dishing out money. I remember the last time when we were struggling with a carton of noodles, and all that in this same country. Now we talk more or less about holding funds. It's always the difficult and the challenge for us. So I really tend to want that part. Nonetheless, it's still in the pipeline. Still under the term you use, review. I really hope it gets reviewed at some point.
Hopefully.
Now, currently there has been more like advocating, student abroad, in diaspora, actually advocating for some sort of inclusion in this loan scheme. Do you think that advocacy is reasonable enough?
Well, that's another point to say that definitely the student's loan is not a scam. Now, those who are abroad are saying that bring us in. We want to enjoy the student loan too. Well, it is possible. You
can't say it's a scam or not, because it's not.
Our online brothers and sisters are already saying, Shebi, we said it. Student loan is a scam. We said it. Student loan is a scam. They are already saying it. It's everywhere. We are saying it daily now. You will be surprised that we are not even giving. What do they even know about this student loan?
But for the fact that I want in on a scheme, does not make it a thing, or it does not make it something that is perfect, because it's not out, especially that it's still an embryotic kind of situation.
Even if it is out, it does not mean to be perfect.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, for the people that are saying they feel like it's a scam, of course, if you ask most of them, they will tell you reasons, and they may possibly give you statistics to back it up, just as you believe it is not a scam as at this moment, because you also have your own statistics to back it up. Now, for the fact that our student outside Nigeria believes that they need an inclusion into it, they want to get into it and also enjoy the benefits, does not make it a perfect plan. But of course, when something is on the platter and is on the table of everybody, dividend of democracy, as I said earlier, every Nigerian want to participate, every Nigerian student want to feel like, I want to be included in this, I want to enjoy it. But for the fact that they are there, what he's asking is it a reasonable thing? What kind of inclusion do you think is possible?
As long as there is a way, the government can always get back the fund. This is Nigeria. It has happened before. As long as there is a way, the government can always get back the fund. Yes, they can. They are citizens of the country, and they should enjoy the same benefits. At least they should enjoy the same benefits. If they are there, it's not everybody it's not everyone that is abroad that lives fine. It's not everyone that is there that lives fine. We have people who are studying there and still getting paid from Nigeria. And those ones, they are not living comfortably at all. Those who are not entitled to work, they cannot even work. Probably their health conditions or whatever. They cannot be able to work. They will be getting funds from Nigeria. So somebody like that will definitely need the help. And there are people. I am surprised that. Do you know there are people who are sponsored abroad, Nigerians who are sponsored by Nigerian government abroad through this same third fund of a thing? And most of them will still, we know that even those who are your colleagues will still, well, that's a story for another day.
All right, we are really out of time now. Now, as a lecturer and also most importantly as a Nigerian, if you are going to give an advice to the government concerning the student loan, what's going to be your advice? And also prospective students that are looking to acquire and enjoy this dividend of democracy in the scheme of student loan.
Yeah, my advice for governments will be that whatever they are doing on the student loan, but considering the state of our economy, they should fast track the process.
Okay.
They should fast track the process and let the students, in fact, every an individual is a student. You learn through, probably somebody like me will have access to it as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so they should fast track the situation so that at least the student can start to enjoy this thing. At least that will sound like, okay, the government actually means business, and not we are going to do, we will, I have approved 1 million grains of 1 million tons of rice, of grains, without saying anything. So we don't want to see plans again. We want to see it manifesting. So they should fast track whatever they are doing.
All right, thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, you've heard from our guests, and it's a thing, an advice to the government, whatever it is that they are doing, let it be fast-tracked for everything to go smoothly, for us to enjoy the dividend of democracy. And he also made mention you can also be a beneficiary of that, being a student also himself. From us here, we'll be saying goodbye on Daybreak Africa. I remain Michael Obagiri.
You do have a wonderful day ahead. I remain Ezekiel Ogar.